that sound right now. Shalom, shalom, testing. All right, just raise voice, bro. It's just a prank.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we see my cities in Saints of the Lafayette branch. That gets you in the live Saturday lesson. Before we get started, we're going to face the east. We give all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Hakadosh.
right the lives of the elders and apostles of the most holy sanctification and blessings to the Hakim that's doing his work in truth and sincerity, spreading this gospel to the four corners of the world. All right, where the people here are forbear, man. All right, and you know, with everything that's going on right now with inflation and you know, price hikes, hard times, a lot of these Edomites are dealing with the same things that we've been dealing with pretty much all of our lives. Pretty much all all the captivities, man, being tributaries, you know, barely being able to make it, barely being able to make ends meet to feed your family, your children, so forth and so on, man. And these curses, all right, are what being put upon our enemies, man. All right, because what's each day that we get closer to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's another day that these curses are slowly being lifted off of us and being put on our enemies.
That's right.
All right.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
That's right. And when you read the scriptures say that Esau had a perpetual hatred for Jacob, man. All right. He had a perpetual hatred, man. All right. So what is that, man? That makes him our enemy, man. All right. And if they're our enemy, then that means that the Lord is going to reverse the curses that's on us, all right, and put it on them, man. Put it upon their heads, man.
That's right.
All right.
I got a quote. All right. If you don't have anything, I got a quote. Go ahead. This is Amos chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
That's right, man. This devil, man, that's so beautiful, because I was actually going into the history of the devil, man. All right. And how you would have these children with yokes around their necks, man, and they would have walking these lives for miles, man. Men, women, and children, man. And elderly. And they didn't regard the age of any of them, man.
That's great.
All right? They didn't regard the age, man. He had that perpetual hatred towards our people, man. All right? And what? It said that what? He didn't, what he said out there? He didn't pull back his sword.
It says, this is the latter part of Amos 1, verse 11. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever.
That's right. He kept that wrath on Jake, man. He didn't let up. All right. He kept on thinking and devising up different plans on how to destroy the nation, man. All right. He basically did out a diligent search, man. All right. And one of the main, one of those curses that he took advantage of, which was dividing the household, man. You know, the family, breaking up the family.
That's right.
You know.
Right, and now those curses ultimately have trickled down to America side of this enemy and enemies plural that have come up against us, man. And ultimately, we're boasting in the Lord that now the shoe is going to be on the other foot now. The separation in the home, all right, that yoke that the Lord put on us and said we will serve our enemies in a land that we knew not. Now it's going to be on the necks of our enemies now. Now they're going to serve their enemies in a land in which they know it not, man. All right, which is Jerusalem. They're going to build it back up, continue on employment, but it's part of our inheritance because the scriptures calls the nation of Israel joint heirs with whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, man. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
That's right, man. So what? We're naked out here, man. We basically gotta go to our prison for everything, man. Alright? We gotta get these off our clothes and our food. Okay? These other nations, we gotta go to them for our clothes as well, man. Our food, alright, housing, everything, man. We gotta go to this devil for everything, man. We literally do not have anything. We don't have no military. Okay, we don't have no defense system. The only defense that we have is through the spirit, and that's through the scriptures, man. All right, that's really our only defense here, man.
That's right.
All right.
And ultimately, it's that yoke going into slavery, man. Us being packed on as sardine slave ships brought over here. And I got a little information because brothers passed various resources between each other. Just outside little pieces of information that further clarify the scriptures. All right, so this is a slide that it says, GMS Soldiers for the Most High 144. It says, slave ships are scriptural justifications used to support slavery. It says many slave ships had on board a Christian minister to help oversee and bless the passage. And we know that as plantation Christianity, which Esau Edom used on our forefathers to push that separation. When it goes into Jeremiah, I believe in 17, it says we will discontinue from our heritage. All right, so our enemies help further that affliction. The main enemy being Esau Edom. He helped further us being distanced from the Lord, man, via slavery, butt breaking, feeding our babies to alligators, using the teeth of or the skin of slaves for dentures, man. We have all of this gruesome history that our enemies have put on our forefathers, man.
There's even videos on YouTube. Go and search up this guy basically stores furniture, and he was basically going into they wanted to upgrade the cushion or the fabric on the chair, and when he went to go open up the chair, they had cotton, and they also had slave hair in it. All right, they would shave Jake hair off, and they would stuff it the hair in the chair, man, to make it soft.
That's right.
All right. And this happened on more than one occasion, bro. So just imagine all the different type of wicked things that Esau thought about, man. To think about putting hair in the chair, man. All right. Yeah. These guys are real devil, man. Castrating our people. Cut. What they did to Gad, man. They cut the woman's womb wide open, man.
Yeah. And the scriptures say you search out wickedness, man. So like the brother beautifully opened up with, now that in Deuteronomy 30 and 7, that is yet to come to pass, man. We're waiting on that to come to pass, but we see it's slowly transitioning until Esau Edom is being taken out of the way and Jacob Israel is being promoted, man. Promoted into rulership, man. So it says slave ships' names included Jesus, Grace of God, Angel, Liberty, and Justice, man. So they were basically slapping these words, which basically describes our people, right? Grace of the Most High, liberty, justice, all right? And slapping it in our face via slavery. I got a good one for you, all right?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And it reads, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
That's right, man. So the Lord said he's going to bring back Israel again to Egypt, man. All right, when you go into that word Egypt, it means bondage. Okay, and also, if you look on the back of your dollar, it's subliminally Egypt as well, man. All right,
so they got a dollar.
All right. Let's go ahead and show them that. As you can see, we got the pyramid on the back of the dollar. Now, why is that? For what? All right, because this is those same wicked kingdoms that were all here before, now just in a big mixing pot, man, a big gumbo pot. All right, and doing the same things that they were doing back in the past, man. Yeah. They're in the same lines, man. All right, and so are the prophets.
Right.
All right.
That was on that, but you go ahead, right?
This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse read 1 and 2, and after that jump to 5. Ezekiel 35 verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. All right. Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
That's right. So read it one more time from the top,
All right. Ezekiel 35 verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it.
That's right. So that's what the prophets are doing. They're prophesying against Mount Seir, man. Who's the head honchos out here, man? All right, Amalek, Esau, the banking family, man. All right, they're the ones in control. All right, and we're waving the hand at them, telling them, look, this is what you've done to our people, man. You're sitting up there sending all these people, all these different nations, billions of dollars in aid and different things like that, but you haven't recompensed us for anything that we've done. All right, but give us what? A Black History Month. You gave us what? BET.
Hip hop.
Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
All of
NAACP.
Yeah. Juneteenth. You give us those little crumbs and then say, what more do you want, man? All right, you want to be back as a nation underneath that power. That's what you want.
Right. Then he controls all those things. He'll give Jake a so-called platform, and he'll control your platform. Like he's the Most High. Like he has all authority over you to tell you what to say, what to do, what to watch. That's the society we're coming into, right? Well, our grand enemy, our greatest enemy, Esau Edom, brother, went into Mount Seir, is now putting himself ultimately in the CD How about Shim Yahushua with his ultimate move. This is Mount Seir in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 532. It says Mount Seir. Seir are land of and mount. It says the land of Seir and Mount Seir are alternate names for the region occupied by the descendants of Edom or Esau. Originally called the land of Seir, it was later called Edom.
That's right. When you go look at Mount Seir, man, what? It's in a damn rocks, man. All right, and what it said in the scripture says that what Edom will dwell in the cliffs of the rocks.
I got it right here. All right. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's why he built these buildings that's freaking 15, 10, 20 stories high, man.
Yeah.
It's because he's so his inhabitants is what is known for what for being on high, man, being above everybody, you know, looking down on you, man, being prideful. He like to look at you from up the top of the building up there, man, looking down at you like you nobody. But the fact of the matter is, he really the scum. He's really the lowest level, lowest of the lowest on earth, man.
That's right.
Scripture say that the Lord wouldn't even let him be with the flocks of his dogs, man. Because what Esau does, he's man is vile, man. He's on the hope.
This is Daniel 4:17. You got it, brother. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it into whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men.
That's right. So the Lord tells you that Esau's the children of fools, not their best friend. And for the Lord to raise him up, man, that shows you the power of Yahweh Shah. That again, what the brother just brought out, the Lord ruled in the kingdom of men, man. He gives it to whosoever he wants to, man. All right. So it's set for a appointed time. Another time, everything is set for a appointed time, and this is just an appointed time that Esau is in rulership.
Hey, like you said, like you beautifully said, the Lord is the one, Yahweh Shah is the one who chooses the slave, he chooses the king, he chooses the low, the high, he sets them up in those places. So it's nothing for the Lord to make a slave a rich man, or a rich man a slave. And that's what's about to happen. These curses, the pandemonium in the Israelite home that Esau Edom promotes on the earth, he pushes what? Federal care, government benefits. All right? Those goodies, man, that Esau Edom promotes on the planet earth. And he spoils our people. That's what the Lord said. Is Israel a homeborn slave? So Esau Edom, you and these other nations have our people spoiled. Moab, you got our people spoiled. Ishmael, all right? Because you're on your high horse in the society due to the benefits that Esau Edom has given you, man. You're able to open up, set up shop on corners, liquor stores on every corner, chicken stores on every corner. The brothers in New Orleans, man. That's not owned by you so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes, man. But they serve some of the most popular chicken amongst our people that has them in that state of mind, like on Daycon Tyrone, man. All right? All juiced up and full of that wine, but that wrath of fornication that's ultimately going to destroy America, man. So it says, I have another one after you. I'm going to go so I Revelation. Yeah. You want that right now? I ain't got that. One more portion. All right. 18. 18:6. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 6. I'm going to start at verse 4, if you don't mind. Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Right, so the Lord saying, come out of my people, all right, and get blessed, man. All right, come back to your power, come back to your ruler, all right, and what? You shall be blessed. But if you continue to what? Want to dwell and stay a part of the system, stay a part of this beast system, then what? Right? You're gonna get polluted by the ways of these doctrines, by whether it be the food, the medicine. Somehow, some way, it's gonna get to you, and it's gonna get you out there. It's gonna kill you.
Right. Hey, and the Lord's not saying to hop on a plane, go get a passport, and flee the country. He's talking about spiritual. This place, what you call it, was spiritual fornication, man. Being into the philosophies and the American way, man. The American way is death. The American dream is just that, man. You have to be asleep to believe it. The American dream is just that. You got to be asleep to believe it. All right? But if you're so-called woke spiritually, you know this place is nothing but moth and rust, man. All right, that's why the Lord said, "Come out of her."
That's what I'm going to preach up to back up your point. But on to how, all right, when it says come out of her, people, it's not talking about, like the brother just said, getting a passport and hopping on a plane and leaving the country. No, it's ultimately talking about coming out of the ways of Babylon. Okay, that's a quick precept. One of y'all brothers got it, one of you got it now. Okay, this Jeremiah 51, verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. See that? Deliver every man his soul, not deliver every man his body, his physical body. Okay, no. That's how you flee out of the midst of Babylon, by delivering your soul. That's right. And coming back to the Lord. It says, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Yes, man. You got it, brother.
So, this literally goes hand in hand with Revelation 18 chapter. This Babylon spoken of in Jeremiah's chapters 50 and 51 is talking about the modern day Babylon, Babylon the Great. Okay, where we ought to come out of this place spiritually, delivering our souls out of this place, and not being cut off with all the iniquities and the witchcrafts and the enchantments and the sorceries of this place. That's right. Okay, by cleaving onto the word of Yahweh Shemashah.
This is backing you up. Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart. Arise ye and depart. For this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
So yeah, come out of her, man, because it will destroy you with the sword destruction. And what was the point of that sword destruction? Was what? The Vanessa, man. All right, when everybody had to get the Vanessa. All right? It took a lot of you chicks out, man. It's still taking you chicks out. A lot of you just suddenly falling over. A lot of you athletes, entertainers, comedians, so forth and so on, man. It's catching up with you, that point.
It's back in Revelation chapter 18, verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity.
That's right. So our sins have reached up to heaven, man. Meaning that the Lord sees the iniquity of this place. Not only much more here, but what about our holy land, man? Where they have all kinds of pride parades and different things like that. Right in our homeland, the Lord's not with that, bro.
Yeah, Tel Aviv, man. Right. They were calling it, and that's why the Lord tells you, Basti shall dwell in Ashdod, man. Because the Lord's chosen people are not ruling, all right, Jerusalem at this point in time, all right. In fact, you have an identity theft that is going on in the planet Earth via Esau and these other nations, man. Because these other nations, when they're put into slavery, they're going to flow onto us. So in this society, even though we're like you were bringing out, with the ones that are counted out, the lowly, the statistics are against us. These nations still want to be like us, man. But and it tells you in Psalm 83rd chapter, they came as a tumult against us, man, to cut us off from being a nation. But they still want to use us to build up the society, man. All right. So it says, keep going on there. This is back in Revelation 18 and 5. For her sins have reached on to heaven, and the Most High have remembered her. I got a quick one for you. This is back in Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Lord Yahweh.
That's right, man. And this devil don't think that nobody's going to bring him down, man. That's why he's walking so high. All right? Every time America goes into a little crisis or whatnot, and they come back out of it, Esau pride gets higher and higher and higher, man. All right? But the funny thing is, right there, man. You know, basically, man, the time is up for them, man. The time is up. At the head don't be the tail, man. All right. Esau, Amalek is gonna be in shekels, man. All right, in the nation of Israel, starting with the Yahushua and the elect. All right, are gonna have them in shackles. All right, along with the rest.
Yeah. And like the brother said, right now the planet Earth is ruled by Esau, even with his technology. You see him exalting himself as the eagle, being his space military, his military is on Earth, his military power, which goes into his so-called angels, right? When you go into Revelation, is that 12 and 7? Satan and his angels fought against Michael and his angels. All right? Esau Edom, he gets that pride and that boast-like mentality from the power that he's back behind. Look at what move he's about to go with in the planet Earth, Revelation 13 and 16. So when he comes with his move, the Lord is going to be there in the midst of for that plan. So it says back in Revelation chapter 18, Revelation 18 and 5 again, it says, for her sins have reached on to heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities.
That's right. The Most High remembered her iniquities, man. The scriptures tell us that the Lord is not going to. He also says that he remembers the past, man. All right. He requires that which is past, man. All right. And with everything that you've done up to this point, everything that you've done up to this point, it has to be answered for, man. All right. Especially concerning the apple of the Lord's eye.
That's right.
Which are the Israelites.
That's right. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. That which had been is done, and that which is to be had already been. And the Most High required that which is past.
That's right. The Most High required that which is past. Which is the reason why, when you read the scriptures tell you what? It says that, what is that? It just escaped me. It basically goes and tell you, and for the iniquities of the forefathers.
Yeah, you talking about
Yes.
14.
Yeah. For the iniquities of their forefathers. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful precept too, because that matches up with Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, because that which happened had already been done. So that goes down to the people too. Nobody walking past to or the planet Earth existing that haven't been here before. All right, they just been reincarnated back. Mean again, incarnation mean embodiment, man. All right, new embodiment.
Back in the flesh.
Yeah, back in the flesh. All right, there, brother.
All right. Isaiah 14, verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the earth with cities.
That's right, man. So, excuse me. So basically, you gotta pay for your forefathers' sins. What you are, your forefathers in the reincarnation.
Right.
You that same spirit that was back then, and they said, "Oh, well, that wasn't me. That was my grandfather. He didn't have no slaves." You know, like the Lord judges us by nations. So the Lord not only judges people individually, but He judges people by nations, man. All right, by nations. All right.
Yeah. Esau Edom, you're at the top of the Lord's list. No judgment. After 1,000 years, these are the nations. They're going to pay tribute. They're going to observe the Sabbath. And Esau Edom, crickets. No, he's not even in the equation after 1,000 years. The scripture tell you in that same chapter, the Lord's going to cut off the son and the nephew. Didn't he do that? Did he not do that to us via slavery? Cut off the son and the nephew, the husband and wife, separate families at the auction block, man. Go ahead,
We're paying for the iniquities of our forefathers.
I got one back you up, Bob.
So how much more you Edomites and the rest of you heathen nations?
You got it. It's Baruch 3 and 7. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity.
Which is what we're doing right now. Go ahead.
For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our fathers that sinned before thee.
Right. So, and that's why, us starting with our apostles and bishops and elders on down are doing what we're doing right now. Teaching, bringing out this word, preaching the gospel, making our bodies a living sacrifice. Because we're calling, we're basically confessing the iniquities of our forefathers to the Lord, and saying that, hey, the reason we're in this condition right now is because ultimately because of our mess ups, because of us falling and breaking that first covenant. That's great. Now the elect, the remnant has woken up in these latter days to confess their ways of the Lord and call upon the Lord. Okay, ultimately begging Yahweh Shah for mercy and forgiveness, so that we can be delivered out of these curses. That's right.
Verse 8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power.
Yeah. So like you just said, to this day, we're in that captivity, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, subject to fines and payments and all this other nonsense. Okay, we have to pay. We have to pay to live. All right, we have to pay to live on the earth. That Lord willing, we help. How shall I create? Right, we're enslaved in our own creation. In Ezra, second Ezra, the 6th chapter, Ezra said that the world was made for our sakes. But right now, we're in captivity in the very world that was made, for us. It is all because of the iniquities of our forefathers, okay, which we're still suffering under to this very day. And that's why you see us doing what we're doing right now. Because, starting with our apostles and bishops and elders on down, that's what the rest of the elect throughout the four corners of the earth. We're the only ones crying out to the Lord to be delivered out of this captivity. Because 2/3 of our people, they love being slaves. They love being subject unto Esau Edom. As long as they can, watch the Super Bowl and listen to music. And,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, eat chicken nuggets and shit. Yep, barbecue.
As in the times of Noah, but so shall the times of the Son of Man be. But this is some more for y'all. It's Baruch 3:9. Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one. Listen up. Go ahead.
How happened in Israel that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead.
Right. Basically, all these things that we're under right now, ask how happened in Israel. How do we fall to this great lit? Well, again, because of the iniquities of our forefathers, breaking that first covenant, worshiping the idols of the heathen nations, committing spiritual fornication. Okay, rejecting Yahushua sacrifice. Okay, we deserve to be where we're at right now.
We became dross.
Yeah.
That was it, brother. All right. This is back in Revelation. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she had filled to her, double.
That's right. So Lord saying, man, give her double what she's done to you, man. The afflictions, all the heaviness that we've dealt with over these years, give them double, man. All right? And you can tell with a lot of these videos that's coming out on TikTok, they really can't handle a lot of pressure, man. All right? So we're more whenever when we got them in captivity. All right? They be crying over little shit like parking spaces and you can't fish here and all this other BS, man. What more whenever we got these heathens in captivity, man. All right? What more whenever Esau digging up and cleaning up bodies and stuff like that, man, for those first 1,000 years. All right? And unpolluting the land. How much he's gonna be basically be complaining, man. All right? You ain't going to be able to take their punishment.
And just to back you up, the scripture says, and I believe Sirach, the 41st chapter, the children shall complain of an ungodly father. So these Edomites, once we get into the kingdom and be cleaning up all the dead bodies and the trash that they polluted throughout the earth, like the brother was just going into, they're going to be complaining because they're going to know that they're forced to do all those things because of their forefathers.
And the scriptures tell us that their wives not even going to mourn them because of how much peace is going to be within the earth, man. All right. So, man, Esau going to be wiped out, man, like they'll always say that itchy sketch. That's how he's going to be wiped out. He ain't going to be remembered again. It's going to be like a bad dream, like the scripture said.
I got you. This is Psalms chapter 75, verse 6. For promotion coming neither from the east, for promotion coming neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But the Most High is the judge. He put it down one and set it up another. He put it down Esau and set it up Jacob. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poured out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall bring them out and drink them. Right?
So basically, man, these nations that Esau is going to drink the dregs of the cup, man, which is slavery. All right, they're going to go into bondage. All right, poor bondage, man. All right, and again, we're going to render unto them double, man. All right, during that first 1,000-year period of slavery, man. All right,
He throws swords into plowshares.
Right.
So it says, but I will declare forever, I will sing praises to the Most High, the power of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked. Read it again. This is Psalm 75 and 10. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted.
That's right, man. So that's a part of that prophecy where the Lord says what? He's going to come and he's going to have what? Many crowns upon his head. There we go. So basically, the Lord is going to take the crowns of these kings and he's going to be the new governor. He's going to be the new apostle. He's going to be the new ruler on the earth, man. All right? And he's going to take it by force. All right?
That's right. And that was it on that.
This is Zechariah chapter 1, verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
That's right, man. So the heathen, man, what? The heathen are at ease because what? They see us in this low condition. They see us being downtrodden. They see us acting like degenerates, away from our power. All right? They're at ease at that situation. They're glad, they're happy. All right? They look at us as forms of entertainment, man.
Yep.
And just another cash cow, man. All right? But what it says, for I was but a little displeased, and they help afford the affliction, man. They help afford the affliction of the Israelites, man. All right? They help Esau sell us for merchandise and guns with the Africans, man. All right? They sold a child, for wine and liquor and all this other stuff, man. All this stuff this devil has done, man. Lord gonna put you back for it, bro.
Right? Slavery, eye for eye. The Lord is judgment, and it's not gonna be your wicked, twisted form of slavery, man. It's gonna be righteous slavery, right? Fines and payments, paying tribute. Okay, the sun is not gonna go down on our anger, man. It's gonna get done right then and there. Judgment will be issued out, and payments will be issued out. All right. So it says, Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Let's talk about Esau Edom, man. He forwarded the affliction that helped forward the affliction. So it's not only Esau, it's the whole gang, man. Pertaining to the back of the side, man. All right? Pertaining to Psalms 83rd chapter, which I'm going to real quick, and I'm going to go to Psalms 2nd chapter. All right? They were in tumult. Did you get that word tumult out, brother? This is Psalms, the 83rd chapter, in the 2nd verse. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Man, let's talk about our main enemy. All right, our main oppressor, Esau Edom. Man. Esau Edom and these other nations, they came against the children of Israel and were confederate. They were in a league together, man. They were on one accord. All right, got the word, brother.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right. This is the word tumult from Psalms 83:2. It's Strong's H1993. It says, Hama. It says, to murmur, growl, roar, cry aloud. It says, mourn, rage, sound, make noise. It says, I'm going to go straight to the point. It says, definition 1A4, it says, to be in a stir, be in a commotion.
Yeah. It's uproar, man. So they had an uproar against us, man. Oh, we're going to take these Israelites out of power. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? What do you propose? What do you propose, Ishmael? What do you propose, Moab? What do you propose, Ammon? What do you propose, Esau? Okay, let's do this. We're going to cut them off from their heritage. All right? We're going to detach them from their power. We're going to take away their access to salvation, seemingly, right? The apostles always go into how they had these top Edomites that opposed them and came up to them and saw these signs and said, how did you guys get this? Where did you get this from? We paid billions of dollars to keep this away from you. Yeah, man. And our enemies were in league with Esau Edom, man. So it says, verse 3, Psalms 83:3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So you got Israel on the other side of the table, you got Esau Edom and the other nations, all right, on the other side of the table. And they're looking at Israel like, okay, well, what are some of the things that we could do to discontinue them from their heritage? And the brother was going into them beautifully. Hip-hop, the slave trade, all right? Blood breaking, Jim Crow laws, the Christianity, like the brother said, the Willie Lynch letter, man.
Basically, this long time wrong.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
Put it in the hair, put it in the grape juice, put it in the chicken. Yes, everything that
Music,
yeah,
the church.
yep. Everything that Esau puts before our people is all to try to separate us from our power. Because they know that when Esau can separate us from our power, that leaves our people vulnerable.
Just what you said, when we all drift away from our power, these other nations know that we're in the gray area. We're not covered.
I know Jude 5 goes into that.
I think that might be it.
Jude 5 verse like 16 on down. Yeah, God, because this is the man of sin that we're talking about right here. Esau Edom. And so here it is. It tells you in Isaiah 59:1, thy sins have separated you from you and your God. Okay, so Esau, he set up a whole entire system of sin. Okay, and he directs us towards our people to keep us separated from our power. Yahweh Shema Shah. Because yeah,
This is Jude chapter 5, verse 17. And while they sinned not before their power, and while they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the power that hated iniquity was with them.
So whenever our forefathers were in that right state of mind without sin, okay, especially mainly during the time of David, as well as Solomon, those 40 years of peace, we prospered. Okay, especially during the time of Solomon, 40 years of peace. We wasn't fighting any wars. We didn't have any conflict with any other heathen nation, because David and his government subdued those nations before Solomon sat on the throne. So we was able to prosper as long as we were without fault or without sin before Yahweh Shema.
Even in the time of Adam, because from the beginning you had those 1,000-year periods, right, up until the 7,000 years. The earth was what? Being formed, created, all right, and it was known at that time as what? Eden, joy, paradise. Until what ultimately came in sin, transgression. The serpent beguiled Eve, Eve beguiled Adam, man. Which is that same spirit that's in Esau. But you got it, brother. I got some more for you.
Oh yeah,
this is Jude 5 and 17 again. And while they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the power that hated iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore.
when our forefathers away from the laws and statutes of God, the Lord allowed our enemies to come in and destroy us throughout various captivities. Okay? Which are the four beasts that you read of in Daniel 7. Starting with the Assyrians took down northern tribes, and then the Babylonians took down the southern tribes, brought us into captivity. Okay, and then bring us about came back during the Persian and Median Empire to rebuild the temple. But then after that empire was came down, well, it was taken down rather by who? Alexander and the Greeks. And then when you read the Maccabees, what happened when the Greeks came to power? Evils were multiplied in the earth. That's right. And our people definitely started going up during that time. Yes. Being uncircumcised, gymnasiums, forsaking the laws and the Sabbaths and the holy days and all that. And then all the way up until the time of the Roman Empire, when Yahushua and John the Baptist came on the scene. Our people were going off on a heavy level back during those times. And it's still the same case. And then in Saturdays, that's when the Greco all over again.
You did that all the way up 70 AD. Our people discontinued, right? All the way up until the time, like you already said, packed the sardines on those slave ships, coming to a land where now they have no identity. Esau, Edom is now in the sea saying he's the Israel. That's how much we're discontinued. That's how much our enemies' plan seemingly work, right? It seemingly work. But the Lord said, ultimately, he rose up for the right? Revelation 7th chapter. To declare that our enemies belong, and our enemies being confederate against us, all right? That plan did not work. This is back in Jude chapter 5, verse 18 again. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captive to a land that was not theirs. In the temple, their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by their enemies.
Uh, Babylonians during the first siege of Jerusalem, and then ultimately later on, 70 AD. You know, I remember most holy cities.
So there's some type of power to have on the side. Time of need like that.
That's right. This is Judah chapter 5, verse 19. But now are they returned to their power and are come up from the places where they were scattered and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
And in the spirit, that's happening right now in these Saturdays to be elected, right? We have brothers from all of the four corners of the earth sitting on their feet, calling on the names of Yahweh, Shah, preaching the gospel, blessings, on fire, okay? And spiritually possessing those sanctuary is spiritually beyond we are liking the temple in these Saturdays, but the temple was because these Saturdays, okay, when the Holy Spirit did not much of a job, his will, his instruction, right? Okay? You can actually be down.
All right. Okay, Judah chapter 5, verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
You see, what's beautiful about everything that the brothers just read in Jude 5, verses 17 to 21, is that pretty much explains the mindset behind Psalms 83. You know, that's why these nations are trying so hard to cut us off from the name of Israel and cut off our access back to Yahweh Shemashah. Because they know that's what it's just going to. But when they can find fault in our nation, they get the victory, they can conquer us. But when there's no fault in our nation, then right, protect it. You know, and here it is. There's various scriptures out of the Bible that speaks about how the remnant or the elect will be found without fault or without guile, blameless before Yahweh Shemashah. So guess what? We're going to get the victory based on what the brother just read in Jude 5. That's right. They can't find no fault in our nation via the elect. So guess what? We're on our way to overcoming whatever these heathen are getting ready to throw at us. Right.
This is Ezekiel 28 and 25. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in their land, and I have given to my servant Jacob.
Right. So the elect throughout the earth these Saturdays are sanctifying Yahweh Shemashah. And how is that? Because we're hallowing the name of Yahweh Shemashah. That's part of the Lord's Prayer. You know, hallowed be thy name. Yep. Which goes into what? You know, keeping the name of the Lord clean. You know, not throwing dirt on the Lord's name, not bringing shame on the name of Yahweh Shemashah. And that's what the elect are doing. Because we're being likened unto a faithful woman to Yahweh Shemashah through obedience. Right? Okay? And so through our obedience, Lord will us be at of that number, starting with our apostles and elders on down, but pretty good. So, okay, the Lord's going to gather us wherever we're scattered at throughout the four corners of the earth. Right.
Your people push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. So anybody that rises up against Israel, you know, are going to be trodden down, man. Right? The brother was going into talking about how the Lord is on our side, he's undefeated. All right, when we judge his power on our side, we're unmatched. We can't be touched, man. All right? So that's what this scripture is saying is that what you know we basically calling the identity to live our personal word. And you know is gonna be defeated to us to be right. All right, when the time it's gonna be our buffer. All right.
That's right. Back to Psalms 83. Psalms 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. The scriptures tell you, it tells you that they covered the faces of the judges thereof. And Esau Edom has done it through the course of history. Whitewashing, iconoclasm, during the Renaissance period. All right, painting pictures of, and we have the proof, man. We have the proof of pictures of the early 80s, man, and those dominoes, man. All right, of what the world viewed of the depiction of Yahweh on the world, you know what they call Jesus Christ. All right, and he was a dark-skinned man from the tribe of Judah, man. All right, but Esau came into power, and this came into play. Psalms 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, the Israelites, and said, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be made no more in remembrance. And ultimately, our enemies did do this. Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And our heritage is what? The law, man. All right? The law and our heritage go hand in hand, man. Our customs, how we do things, what power we serve, how we serve our power. When is our power? What's the timeline for our power coming back? All right? Be a good watchman. Okay? So it says, and thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave you. And I want to prove, ultimately, that the heritage is going into the law. This is two quick precepts. This is Sirach, chapter 17, verse 11. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So the Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. That's our heritage. That brings us back unto the Lord. But now, if we don't make void the law, we have faith in Yahweh Shai. That's what brings us back to our heritage, back to our customs, back to the way we do things, back to the way we treat each other. How Yahweh Shai treated his men, the disciples, man, the apostles. All right? That's the way. So it says, another one, Sirach 24 and 23. All these things are the book of the covenant of the Most High power, even the law which Moses commanded for an heritage, unto the congregation of Jacob. And with that law comes an identity, who we are as a people. The 12 tribes, man. The Lord's chosen people. That's our identity, man. We're not those proverbs and the bywords that our enemies have put on us. We're not Negroes. We're not Latinos. All right. We're not wetbacks. We're not Mexicans, man. All right. We're Benjamites, Judites, Levites, Zebulonites, Ephraimites, Manassites, man. This state that the Lord has assembled across the planet Earth. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4 again. And this is Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. We now prove that the law goes hand in hand with our heritage, man. So we will discontinue from our identity, who we are, man. Now the Lord is setting up his little sanctuaries to call us back. All right. The word church means to what? To call out. The Lord has set up churches to call out, man. Call you back home. All right. Back to that heritage, back to the way of life, that way of thinking. All right. Faith in Yahweh Shai. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother.
All right, but you, because you know, 'cause speaking of our laws and our customs and our inheritance, you know, to come back to all those things, you know, the things of our ancient forefathers, that you know, that's pretty much a commandment, to the elect. Well, really to all of our people, but we know only the elect are going to take heed to that commandment to come back to the old ways. This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus said the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old paths. See that? Ask for the old paths. You know, so that's basically a commandment. You know, it says, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. You know, so the Lord commanded us as a nation, okay, to ask for the old paths, all right, the old ways, which are the ways of Yahweh Shemashai, the law, statutes, commandments. Because the ways in the past that our people follow now, all right, black culture, Latino culture, native culture, got to throw y'all in there too, all right. None of those ways and cultures that our people practice today, well, have been any good for us. Okay, all they've done was just nothing but continue to dumb us down, continue to make us, you know, docile to our enemies,
Indoctrinated.
yeah, indoctrinated, like the brother just said. Continue to, you know, basically keep us separated from our power. You know, so the Lord commanded us to ask for the old paths. Okay, seek the old ways. Prepare to search for our fathers, like it says in Job 8:8. Okay, because that's the good way. That's the way that we ought to walk in. That was the ways that we were commanded to walk in, going all the way back to the beginning in the garden. You know, but like you just said, at the latter part of Jeremiah 6:16, but they said, we will not walk therein. And that's what the 2/3 of our people are saying in these days. They don't want to walk therein according to the ways of Yahweh Shemashai. So guess what? That's why 2/3 of our people got to be cut off and die. You know?
I'm going to go back to Psalms 83rd chapter. This is Psalms 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. I'm going to start at 4 again. And could you get that word confederate at 5? Huh? This is Psalms 83 and 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Like we were going into iconoclasm, whitewashing, all right? It tells you that in First Maccabees, man. Many of our people consented to the decree of the king. All right, when Antiochus Epiphanes came with that one world order, man. You had Israelites making themselves Gentiles, man, following after these other nations and their gods, man. Ultimately, making themselves uncircumcised as well, man. Getting licensed, as it speaks of, to perform the ways of the heathen, man. All right, to go after this crafty plan that Esau has, man. His American dream, whatever he's spewing out into power, and many will go after the Charagma, man. Because that's going to be Esau's new token to a new way of life, a new fresh start. Start over, man. To put this inside of you, man. Go ahead, brother. I'm going to read verse 5 of it first. Okay. Psalms 83 and 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. One consent. One world order, man. NWO. Go ahead, brother.
All right. This word confederate from Psalms 83 and 5 is Strong's H 1285. It says Barayath, okay, which means covenant.
That's right.
Covenant, alliance.
So Esau, Edom, and these other nations, they have a covenant, they have an alliance, they're in a league together. Go ahead, brother.
It says a pledge between men.
A pledge, they pledged, all right? Meaning what? They're on one accord. Go ahead, brother.
It says treaty, alliance. It says league, man to man.
Man to man. They had a heart-to-heart about taking the nation of Israel out of power, all right? Covering the faces of the judges. Fooling the entire planet Earth to make them seem like the Lord's most despised people, and to make the heathen, starting with Esau, Edom, seem like the Lord's chosen people, man. Anybody but Jacob, right? Everybody is the chosen people on the planet Earth except the Israelites. Moab's up to bat. Okay, the Lord dealing with them. They got substance in the earth. They must be the Lord's chosen people. Esau, Edom up to bat. Oh, they got substance in the earth. They got power. The Lord must be dealing with them. All right, but the Lord tells you you deal with the meek, the lowly, the poor, man, the afflicted, the contrite spirit. Go ahead, brother.
Now, when you go down to definition B2, all right, under the word confederate in Psalms 83 and 5, under definition B2, it says covenant, divine ordinance with signs or pledges.
Ooh, man. Go ahead,
Yeah, God. So these heathen, when they made that confederacy against us to cut us off from the name of Israel and discontinue us from our power, they ultimately made a divine covenant. Okay, they ultimately consulted with the spiritual demon Satan.
Yes.
As
Beautiful.
you know, as
Left
well
hand
as
side.
Yep, the left hand side, because these devils, all of these heathen all together, they know that in order to take us down as a people, they're going to need a higher power on their side.
That's right.
So, and as a matter of fact, there's a brother, you spoke of, you said the UN just a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, when these the rulers of these heathen nations, when they get together at these UN meetings and these UN councils, the brother always speaks to this. They all, out of all the seats that they have at the round table, they always have that one single seat that's at the head of the table that they leave empty, because ultimately they commune with the spiritual demon Satan right there in those councils. So these heathen, they consulted with the left-hand side to ultimately figure out ways and tricks and schemes to take us down as a nation. Whether it be religion, the music, the overall culture, destroying the family structure, okay, iconoclasm, the education system, you name it. All right, they're all confederate, okay, because these nations, when you look throughout the world right now, they have their little differences here and there with the BRICS currency and one nation rising up in war against another nation. But the one thing that these nations do have in common, though, is to keep so-called niggas down. You got it, huh?
All right, this is Psalm 64 and 6. They search out iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. So they think about statistics. They do analysis on Jake, man. All right.
Surveillance.
Yeah, that's right.
Surveys.
Seeing how you move, seeing what you like, what you don't like, what particular works in this season and that season.
Hey, and that's a beautiful analogy for Psalms 83rd chapter. They at the table, these other nations at the table, they say, okay, well, we got the common ground, take these Israelites out of power, but what ways can we do with it? Okay, liquor stores on every corner, all right? We're going to put a Planned Parenthood, okay? Abortion clinics on every corner.
What's that? 187.
187 clinics on every corner, man. All right? Salakia. Okay? We know Esau Edom's devices that he puts on the planet Earth to further distance us from our power, man. So like it says, Psalms 83 and 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of light. That's right, man. they've come together to ultimately strategize against the Lord's chosen people, man. The apple of the Most High's eye. Ultimately, which is going to lead to a crash in this economy, man. We see these other nations dumping the dollar, man. We see them separating themselves, but what are they drawing closer to? Like the brother said, that one agenda, that one world order that ultimately, like it speaks of in the first Maccabees, Antiochus Epiphanes wanted to come up under. He caused everybody to come up under one order, man. It wasn't accomplished then. It wasn't accomplished in ancient Rome, all right? It wasn't accomplished in World War I, World War II, all right? But this third World War, is the ultimate shebang. And simultaneous events are going to happen, all right, up and coming to that third war, man. Society crashing, martial law, famines, pestilence, all right? This Qaragma being implemented. Ultimately, these nations, starting with Esau, Edom, why do the heathen rage? And the people of the earth imagine a vain thing, man, that their ultimate scheme and master plan is going to win. But you got it, brother. I got one too.
Hey, you can read verse 12 in Psalms 83.
Yes, yes, brother. This is Psalms 83 and 12. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Salakia, I'm going to read it again. Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
Right. And that's another part of these heathen and their plans pursuant to Psalms 83. You know, they want to cut us off from the name of Israel, that the name being no more remembrance to us, and cut off our access to Yahweh Shemashai. And the ones of our people that they can't kill off, all right, the ones of our people that they can't kill off, ultimately they want to possess us, okay? And how are they going to try to aim to possess us? Ultimately through the Qaragma, okay? The Qaragma is going to serve as a modern day way of branding slaves, okay? Because going back, to the ancient ways of branding slaves, basically you will brand a hot iron on your slaves, okay? You will brand, put a particular logo on the skin of your slaves. With, it could be a family name, family logo, whatever it may be, and through that brand being on the slaves, that will symbolize who owns that slave. Well, now, all right, it happened back during the time of ancient Egypt, the Assyrians, Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, okay? And nowadays, because Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations have become so technologically advanced, now the modern day way of branding slaves is going to be done through technology by putting something into your skin, under your skin, rather than putting something on the surface of your skin, like back in ancient times. You want to say something?
Yeah, they basically already have us numbered because you have a social security number, you have a birth certificate. They just want to take that physical and store it within yourself, a database, and basically have everybody on a big ass cloud, okay, with all your personal information. And anytime they want to, if you have a debt, anything like that, get deducted out. If you driving suspended, they can stop you, stop your vehicle. Everything go on the electrical. They're trying to get rid of, they're trying to go, what they call that? It's called go green. Basically, they want to get rid of all gas-powered cars, man. And they want to go all digital. Why is that? So they can trace you, know where you at all times. So that's what this devil's trying to do, man. All right?
He basically wants to make so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans digital slaves. If they can put something under your skin, then they can pretty much make you, an ultimate slave for life. They can cut off your access from buying and selling, which is how most people have access to food and water and daily essentials. Okay, they can cut off your access from entering into certain places and going to certain venues. If you're under a system like that, you're a slave without chains. Okay, you're literally a slave without them having to put shackles and chains on your physical body.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because Esau, Edom, you're even limited, man. Here you are trying to limit us and reduce us to a piece of technology. You're trying to reduce the Lord's creation to something you can just shut off and shut on, man. You don't have that authority, man. Even the Lord limited your authority. This is just backing you up because flip side of it. The deceived and the deceiver are his, man. Here you are deceiving the planet Earth, Esau, but you're being deceived by Yahweh Shai. This is Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
That's right. So Esau got bounds that he can't pass. That's why the scripture says, what? He that will let. Talking about Yahweh Shai. Talking about Yahweh. All right, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. All right.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way.
That's right, man. So the time is up, man. The gig is up, the time is up, and it's time for a new ruler, man. It's time for somebody who is acceptable. He's put in the position of power, man. All right? And you're not acceptable, man. Look at this kingdom, man. Or this queen, whatever you want to call it. Look at the people that walk by. Look at their mindset and ask them. Ask the majority of these people, what they believe in. Yeah. They probably, most likely, they don't believe in anything. And if they do believe in something, it's completely left-hand side.
Yeah. Or it's their own vain understanding of things, man. Of how they think things should be. I think everybody should get along. But when we come in with the question, well, what does the Bible say? Well, I don't care. Well, you technically, a fool said in their heart that there's no power, man. That this earth isn't being governed by the unseen, man. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Shai. And the Lord, these other nations as kings in Psalm 83rd chapter. They came into Malk and were confederate against each other as kings of the earth, man. All right? Nations of the earth, top powers, against the Lord's chosen people. So this is, you have one of mine? I'll go ahead.
I'm awesome. All right. This is Sirach, chapter 10, verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable.
That's right. And the Lord is setting over the period of time we're being tried through the fire to be acceptable men to rule the kingdom of heaven, which is to come with Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
So yeah, the Lord is setting somebody acceptable, man. Yahweh Shai and the elect, man. And that's how it's going to jumpstart everything else to fall perfectly into place. All right, perfectly into order. All right.
This is Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
That's right. So when the righteous are in authority, there's going to be no more crying, no more weeping. All right. When you go into these major cities, you see a whole bunch of people mourning, man. All right. You got a whole bunch of homeless people, a whole bunch of people that got food. Yeah. You got children that's starving. You got families that's on drugs. They're so bad on drugs they can't even take care of their responsibilities, man. All right. Let alone take care of themselves. We ain't gonna have none of that in the kingdom, man. All right, when you come to us to get healed, you're gonna actually get healed. We're gonna give you the herbs and different things that you need to heal your body. Rather than when you go to Esau, he only give you enough to where you can struggle enough along until the next time, man. You know, which is hell, bruh. This place is hell.
Yeah, that's why get this real quick, because ultimately that's why the Lord is gathering up these nations in the valley of Yahweh Shai, because they've come against us in the tumult. So the Lord is going to gather them up, and it's going to be one big showdown in the valley of Yahweh Shai, and which the conclusion of that showdown is going to be Esau Edom being taken out of the way, these other nations going into slavery, and Esau Edom being reduced and fined with 1,000 years, man. How do you like that? All the time you give Jake, man, unrighteously, now you're getting 1,000 years. Then after that, extermination. Then it's righteousness. The whole earth is going to know that judgment is righteousness for your ways in the planet earth. Even the heathen nations. This is Ezekiel 36, because the earth is going to return to Eden again, man. You're taken away from this place, Esau. It's going to return onto Eden, because who's going to be in rulership then? The nation of Israel. And that's ultimately going to be a sign throughout the planet Earth that we're the Lord's chosen people. How the earth is going to be restored. It's going to show that, hey, well, not only did the Lord come back and deliver them, but the earth is even reacting to it. That they're righteous. You know what I mean? That's right. So it says, Ezekiel 36 and 35, and they shall say, this land that was desolate, because it tells you in Ezekiel 38 that the land of Israel is going to be brought back from the sword by that thermonuclear heat. And rightfully so, because look at all the wickedness is exceedingly polluting the Lord's sanctuary, man. When the Lord sits his seat, all right, the house of David, okay. So it says, and they shall say, this land that was desolate has become like the Garden of Eden, and the waste and desolate and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. So that sanctuary of the Lord, Jerusalem, which is the mother of us all right, it's going to be taken down, all right, burned down, ultimately to be built back up and inhabited again. All right, that hasn't happened yet. The rulers of deceit and craftiness and all left-handedness in the flesh, Esau, Edom, they're currently ruling right now. We need something that's bigger than us to deliver us from the situation that we're in. This is a dire situation, all right, that the nation of Israel is in, man. Look at us. We're going to work and turning around, and you're looking in your pocket, and everything's falling out of it. You have nothing. You can put your hand through it, man. Oh, that's your pocket. Go ahead, brother.
It's a quick proverb. All right, this is Proverbs chapter 11. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth.
Yes.
And when the wicked perish, there is a shouting. Hey, so when everything ultimately goes right with the nation of Israel, starting with the elect under Yahweh Shai, right, as it just said, the city rejoicing. And not only is the city, okay, Jerusalem, as well as the land of Israel itself is going to rejoice, but ultimately the whole earth is going to rejoice when everything goes right with us, whenever we're set back in our rightful order as rulers. It tells you in Isaiah 14th chapter, even the trees are going to rejoice. The trees are going to sing. Okay, right. Basically, backing up what the brothers had said a few minutes ago, everything is going to go back to its rightful order. Okay, it's going to flourish again. It's going to be like Eden all over again.
Yes,
under the second Adam, just as it was under the first Adam. And as I said again, Proverbs 11 verse 10, when it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. So, hey, when the wicked Esau, Edom, is going to perish by the Lord and be taken down, there's going to be a shouting throughout the whole entire earth. Like, yes, finally, this nigga is out of here.
Yes.
Hey, as a matter of fact, because even if you go back to last year, whenever the U.S. military had pulled out of Afghanistan, I believe that was like the president of Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken. Like after the U.S. military had withdrawn out of Afghanistan, the president of Pakistan, if I'm not mistaken, had made a comment on it. He was making comments on the withdrawal. He was basically saying like the policies and the ways of the West that was all throughout the Middle East all those years was worse than slavery. He actually said that.
He said a mouthful right there.
Man, because basically, what are some of the ways of the West? The woman being over the man. Okay, alphabet rights. Taking on the U.S. dollar, which is nothing but really a debt note, a Federal Reserve note.
Beta males.
Yeah. All those things are literally worse than slavery, because even when you look at our people, despite all the slavery and the Jim Crow that was put upon us since we've been over here in this country, slavery was never able to destroy our family structure. It wasn't until the modern day Western culture, this feminism and all that, is what ultimately destroyed our family structure. And Esau took all of that and brought it to those Middle Eastern countries and pushed that culture within the Middle East. And so when the U.S. military withdrew out of Afghanistan back last year, you even had certain leaders over there in the Middle East. You know, they were like basically like in a sigh of relief, you know, shouting because the ways of the West, Babylon the Great America, is worse than slavery.
Yep. Got you a quick one. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heap it unto him all people. And Esau Edom does that with his philosophy. He goes talk about the planet Earth. You quick Google search and tell me how many U.S. embassies are throughout the planet Earth. All right, does that via his military bases throughout the planet Earth. And that which he furthers his agenda. He sets up shop, lays down his law, democracy. Do as thou will. He imposes his will on these other nations. All right, enlarges himself. Get down and lay down. Like, what was that? State property. So get down and you go lay down. Man. Get down means what? You get drunk off this wine. Let me see naked. Lay down means what? Get put to death. But as it is known, some of our forefathers during the time of Maccabees, man, 7 brothers, whether go to death, but to find themselves in swine. That's the integrity of the elect of the house of Israel, man, the Lord's people, Israel. All right, so it says, but gather unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people.
All right, this is a quick Google search. I typed in how many U.S. embassies are in the world. Okay, and the first result that came up was from Wikipedia. It says list of diplomatic missions of the United States. It says the United States has the second most active diplomatic posts of any country in the world after the People's Republic of China, including 249 bilateral posts. Okay.
Go ahead, brother. Speak on that.
Yeah, so basically, goes into, you know, the U.S. has the second most diplomatic posts or U.S. embassies in the world. Okay, behind China. All right, and it said, you know, the U.S. has 249 bilateral posts throughout the world. You know, so just showing you that, you know, Babylon the Great and its ways and its policies are all throughout the earth. They helping further pollute the earth and pollute the minds of the people and polluting these different government structures throughout the world. That's why the scripture speaks about how nations have drunk the wine of Babylon, and therefore the nations are mad. Because how these nations that once took on the ways of Babylon America and took on that dollar, okay, now they're all coming up against forming these different alliances. You know, we got BRICS nations, you even have certain African nations now putting out against America. What's that country? Uganda, you know, and there is other nations around the world coming up against America, all because of that wine of Babylon, that wine of America, and setting up, you know, military posts around all these different countries. Okay?
Lord, this is Habakkuk 2:15. Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and put it not bottle to him, and maketh him drunk also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. As we saw even the same thing we ultimately did with the spirit of that serpent, right? Giving them that ultimate, hey man, Most High didn't say you couldn't do it. Now the Most High said you couldn't see it. All right? Lord is a point of bound that we can't pass. So ultimately, we're in line with Yahweh Shem Shai, waiting on our salvation, exposing these different things that Esau Edom is doing throughout the planet Earth. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and put it out bottle to him, make him drunk also, and thou may look on their nakedness. And what do our people do? They go into that captivity, and they go into that state of slavery, and they become so consumed with what you can say drunken with the wine of the society, all right? that they can't sober up. All right, but what's ultimately going to sober them up is the wine and the wrath of the Lord's indignation. All right, indignation. So this is Isaiah 5:13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Right, having no knowledge, having no truth, the way to do things. Know thine enemy. All right, watch, measure the time diligently. So it says, therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall be said against. That's why you don't have an act. Being drunk with that American way of Western mindset like the brother was going into. We're going to descend into hell, man. Which is what? Slavery, blood, captivity, sorrows, ultimately those eyes of people in the sewer and like fire. We're going to be burnt up with the works therein, man. All right, but we not on work for Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So we could be burnt up, all right? You could be caught up in this lake of fire, or you could be delivered. Go ahead, brother.
This is Job chapter 10, verse 21. It says, before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. Like the land of darkness and the shadow of death, talking about America. So that was great. So basically, wherever you go in this country, whatever you get involved in this country, besides the truth, of course, death follows, some way, shape, or form, it'll destroy you. Right? The sports, you get into music, you get into entertainment, you get into the news, you get into politics, the money system, these colleges and whatnot, these jobs, whatever you get into within this system, America got on the brain. It's like into a shadow of death. Death, so that follows you and destroys you in some way, shape, or form, or seeks to destroy you. Okay? What it says, verse 22, Job 10, verse 22, a land of darkness as darkness is itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness. So this place, America, is under a very, very heavy dark vibration. The lies, the deceptions, the pseudoscience, the religion, the education system, the government system, the politics. Okay, everything about this society is full of darkness, spiritual darkness. That's why he tells you, Isaiah 60, gross darkness cover the people. Okay, because this is a land without water, a land where now you can't even define what a woman is. Okay, you can't define what a man is. That passes laws for children to flip their genders while their parents consent. Okay, and that's just the name of you. Okay, everything in this place is without order. Okay, and that's why it's so dark. There's no righteousness in this place. Okay, so matter of fact, as we read earlier in Micah 2:10, the part where this is how you rest. Okay, but this place is polluted. This is no place for an Israelite, especially an elected nation to succeed and prosper. Okay, this system that's set up against Yahweh, total rebellion. Okay, and all of these things are just leading up to Yahweh ultimately destroying this place with the worst judgment and the worst destruction that the Lord has ever brought to any right? Fire, brimstone, the plagues of Egypt. Okay, all these different things the Lord is getting ready to bring these things to the system, to this country, and rightfully so. Right?
Going back to Esau, he was trading that wine, right? He getting his neighbor drunk, all right? Ultimately using that wine to capitalize on that pyramid or ignorance, okay? And then come in with his ultimate plan, which is that Bible, all right? So this is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dancing meat. Meaning what? His philosophy, his way, the way he does things, his thought process. All right. So the Lord says, "Eat thou not with the bread of them that had any God, even though consume the society. Depart from the way of this place. Don't be a partaker into it, or other else you're going to be drunken. You're going to be taken, man. And that day is going to come upon you as a thief. So it says, for as he thinking in his heart, he saw Edom. So is he eat and drink, he said to thee. And that's what he saw Edom. Hey, go out, do as thou will, man. Hey, if you want to be this and you were born this, do that. If you want to dress like this and naturally, according to nature, you're supposed to dress like this, go ahead and do it. I don't mind. All right? And he governs society. So as the king is, so are the people, man. We're seeing it play in the society before us. The wickedness is going through the ceiling. And what's allowed in this society is just mind blowing. It's perpetual. All right? It's flabbergasted. But then you see wickedness taking place. So it says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with thee, because he's saying eat and drink. But over here he's whispering and saying, hey, look, they're over there getting full, man, about to go in for the kill, about to see their nakedness. All right? They're not going to have that cover. They're not going to have their heads like that Judah that was going into that beautifully brought out. All right? Us not being protected, man, because we're not doing well and we're not operating under the vibration of our power, man. So it says, verse 8, the morsel which thou hast eaten shall thou vomit up, and that's likened unto the truth. All right, you're gonna ultimately be so consumed with the wines of this world that you start regurgitating and vomiting up. All right, you all sick, you all in disarray, man. You're not talking, you're not sound in the body. You're not at the sound doctrine. You feel within the knees. So it says, the morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words, which is the truth, man. These sweet words, man. These rivers of living water, man. You're going to be all dried out, man. All right? Go ahead, brother.
Can you read that out, that first piece, that first scripture you read?
This is Psalms 23:6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats.
There's a precept to back that up. This is Isaiah chapter 55, verse 2. Like the Lord speaking to our people. Isaiah 55, verse 2. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread? Okay, he saw Edom's philosophy, his ways, his deception, his education, his politics, his money. Okay, our people literally spend their money on all those things, which is not bread. It's not bread unto them. Meaning what? It can't fill them up. It can't provide any solution for them. It can't, give them the right guidance. Okay,
no spirit, no life, no breath. Like the letter of Jeremiah goes into these different idols, right? Who can't give judgment, can't be a faithful witness. All right, they can't prophesy. None of those things. Right? Oh, like it says in Deuteronomy, other gods, wood and stone.
Where you shall find no rest. Yep, like I said. It says Isaiah 55, verse 2. Wherein do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which
All right, we should be good. We should have came back. Had a little technical difficulty.
I'm just ready to get. All right. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 2 again. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfies not. Yeah, so our people are, laboring and running to and fro, okay, in this system for things that don't satisfy them, for things that don't provide any comfort, any rest, no solutions toward them and their so-called communities, okay, because our people, going back to the curse of Deuteronomy, are groping, groping to and fro for for things that's not true, basically. Okay, and that's why our people aren't getting filled up. Okay, they're not getting filled up mentally. They're not getting filled up spiritually. They're not getting filled up, even physically. Okay, because they're selling themselves for things that's not bread, that don't provide any solutions. It says, "Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness."
Right. Which is the truth, man. Yeah. Right. Swallow down wisdom and understanding, like Ezekiel goes into that whole role. You gotta the volume of the book, man.
Right.
You gotta digest it, and when you digest it, you gotta let it nourish you. You gotta let it let you grow, and you act stronger, man. That's what this truth does. It invigorates you. When you go into that word invigorate, it means to quicken you. All right? We're about to get those celestial bodies. So this truth is what's ultimately going to cure us, heal us, raise us up, quicken us. Those sweet words.
Really, that hurt? Another quick one. Right. This is the book of John, chapter 6. Okay, because the Lord said in Isaiah 55, roughly paraphrasing it, eat ye that which is good, right? Roughly paraphrasing it. Okay, well, this is John chapter 6, and a second. John 6 chapter, the whole shot basically spoke about it's the bread of life. What is that?
John 6 and 35.
Water.
John 6 and 35.
Water. I might want to start up a little bit. Okay, Con, yeah, you can read 35.
Can I start from 32?
Con.
This is John 6 and 32. Then Yahushua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven.
Right.
It says,
yeah, because in the wilderness we ate the manna from heaven, which was an actual physical bread that the Lord sent to our forefathers in the wilderness from the heavens, that filled us up and stopped our people from complaining at that time. Go ahead.
For the bread of the Most High is he which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world.
And that's Yahushua speaking of himself. He's that bread, or that good thing that the Lord commanded us to eat, pursuant to what we just read in Isaiah 55. So Yahushua is ultimately that bread of life. Okay, that's going to fill our people up. Okay, that's going to fill them up mentally, spiritually, physically. Okay, and give them solutions and provide solutions and answers to all of our people's problems. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 34.
Unless you want to.
John 6 and 34. Then said they unto him, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life. I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst.
So once again, Yahushua telling them straightforward, he's that bread of life. He's that spiritual manna from heaven, okay, to fill us up in these outer days. The elect, that is. Okay, so much to where when we eat of Yahweh's spiritual bread, which is this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, we shall never hunger nor thirst again. We shall never hunger or thirst for answers. We should never hunger or thirst for solutions. We should never hunger or thirst for guidance. Okay, as we're likened unto lost sheep in the scriptures, because Yahweh provides all those things unto us through His sacrifice, through His atonement, through His ministry. Okay, and leads us back to the Father. You know.
I'm gonna jump down. This is John 6:48. I am that bread of life. I'm gonna start at 47. I'm gonna start at 46, Bubba Kushah. John 6:46. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of the Most High. He had seen the Father. Verily and verily, I say unto you, right? So he which is of the Most High, meaning the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Man. That's how we saw the Father, because we're of Yahweh Shai. That's how we saw the Father, man. So technically, all right, we're joined unto the Father through Yahweh Shai. Is what Yahweh Shai is going to say. It says, that's right, reconcile. John 6:44. No man came to me except the Father, which has sent me, draw him, and I will raise him up at the last days. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of the Most High. And every man, therefore, that had heard and had learned of the Father, cometh unto me. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of the Most High, he has seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. And I am the bread of life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. Which is this truth, which is this word, which is the blood, all right? That the men of the Lord willing, will that number we put on our doorpost, which is our mind, all right? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with faith in Yahweh Shai, man, okay? In these last seconds of time, no man cometh through the Father Yahweh except through Yahweh Shai, which is this word, which is the bread of life, man, which we eating onto, and we're not going to die, man. We're going to live forevermore, all right? Spiritually, in the kingdom, reigning with Yahweh Shai. So it says, John 6:51, I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. And that world is Israel, man. That world without end. All right? And Yahweh Shai did give his flesh. He was the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate atonement, the ultimate reconciliation. We got it, buddy.
Let's get back in the middle.
We're going to get a couple more out there.
Shut it down, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Because ultimately, this is ultimately all about, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, and the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Okay? Because as a matter of fact, just get this. Because that's who Yahweh Shai, whom this world calls Jesus Christ, is coming back to deliver. The elect. Alright? This is Matthew chapter 24. And I'm going to start at verse 29. This Yahweh Shai speaking to the disciples in this chapter, which trickles on down to us as the hopeful elect in these latter days. All right? Matthew 24, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, all right, Jacob's trouble, right? The sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, okay, the missiles, all right, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And how are the powers of heaven, all right, of these different rulerships of these heathen nations going to be shaken? Through those missiles, okay? That's right. That's going to be shot off during World War III. That's right. Okay. So it says, verse 30, and then so when the stars of heaven fall and the powers of heaven shaken, right, through the missiles coming down, right, then it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man. So as those missiles are going to be falling, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to appear in the midst of it, okay? To ultimately do what? It says, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, okay? The tribes of Israel scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, because Jacob's going to be catching hell in those days, right? That's why I say the tribulation. It says, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That great fathership is right spoken of in 2 Ezra 13, likened unto a mountain, right? And it says, verse 31, and he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds and from one end of heaven to the other. So as those missiles are going to be falling down, Yahushua and the holy angels are going to appear in the heavens, crack the clouds, so to speak, with great power and great glory. Okay, then Yahushua is going to send the angels throughout the four corners of the earth to gather the elect, to deliver up the elect in the midst of those missiles falling down. Okay, and the elect being the nation of Israel. Okay, Isaiah 45 and 4. Israel is the elect. All right, it tells you plain, plain and simple in that verse. But then when you go to Romans 11 and 7, it tells you that amongst the nation of Israel, there's an elect amongst the nation of Israel. Okay, so Yahushua is coming back to gather the elect of the nation of Israel from throughout the four corners of the earth when he returns.
This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Psalms 2 and 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, and this is ultimately Psalms 83, backing that up too, man. All right? The heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing that they're going to be next up in rulership to put the Lord's chosen people into slavery, man. Not this time, man. Pertaining to Deuteronomy 30 and 7, what the brother brought out. Now these curses are going to be upon our enemies, man. That was kind of like the main topic of the lesson we've been going into, man. Esau, Edom being taken out of power with these other nations and their treacherous deeds against us not going unpunished. So it says, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. So the Lord is going to be laughing at the plans and ultimately the attempts of Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations. The Lord's not going to lift up any sword. The brother quoted 2 Ezra 13 chapter. Or any instrument of war that shows you how glorious our power is going to come back and stand on our behalf. Great counselor, all right? Redeemer. The government shall be upon his shoulders, man. Yahweh Shai. It says, Psalms 2 and 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sword displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I would declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, thou art my son. This day I have gotten you. Ask of me is the point, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. And that's talking about the nation Israel is going to do these other nations. Jacob, thou battle axe, man. All right? We're going to break these other nations into shivers, man. Meaning what? We're going to take them from that state of rulership to the state of slavery, man. We're going to spoil their day. We're going to crash their party, man, so to speak. All right? We're going to forward that plan through Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You got it, brother.
I got one. This is Psalms 7 and 16. His mischief shall fall, his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own plate. All right, so all the wickedness that Esau has done, the nation has done, all the things that we have went over, this camp, basically recompense that's going to be issued out to Esau first and foremost, and then to the rest of these nations. All what they've done is going to fall back on their head. All right, just like whenever you watch that cartoon, you rolling that ball up the hill, and that ball gets too heavy, it fall back on him. You know, he set the trap up for somebody else, but it's gonna fall on your head, man.
I got one for you real quick. This is the book of Proverbs 26 and 27, the exact same thing you said. whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him.
That's right, man. So all these little tricks and these tricks that you got for kids, all that shit gonna fall back on your head, man. You know, it's all gonna be answered for. All right.
And real quick, since you just made that quote, because he had that quote from Trick cereal commercial, Tricks Up for Kids, and a kid, when you go into it, is basically like a baby goat or like a baby sheep, something that's meant to be sacrificed, and that's what the 2/3 are likened unto. You know, all the tricks and schemes of Esau and Edom, that's all for the 2/3 to be to fall victim, to be in the trick bag, like the brother just said. But like it says in Numbers, no enchantment against Jacob, and that's talking about the elect. So none of Esau's tricks and schemes are going to work on us, because even Yahushua even spoke about if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, and that's not possible, because Lord willing, we be of the elect, we're sealed unto the day of redemption. So none of these tricks and schemes and enchantments of Esau and Edom is going to work on that. Okay, only the kids, which are 2/3 of our people.
Because you got to remember, the scripture says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, but now that we come into the scriptures, we have become men, man. So we know what's good and what's bad for us, man. All right? Like they say in the world, once you know better, you do better. So, you know, we're not falling for those little tricks no more, man. All right?
Zechariah chapter 8, verse 13. And it shall come to pass that as ye were a curse among the heathen of house of Judah and house of Israel, all 12 tribes, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Okay, yeah. So basically, the Lord is going to turn us from a curse among the heathen unto a blessing. Okay, both Judah and Israel, all 12 tribes. And that's going to start with the tabernacle of David being raised up. Okay. Yep, like the brother said, that one stick being raised up. Okay, and ultimately being saved, brought under the new covenant. Okay, and be joint heirs with the blessing of Yahushua, with the rulership over the heathen nations.
Okay, well, Lord willing, this message has been edifying, this camp has been edifying. We're going to turn and face the east. Give infinite honors and praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, HaKadosh.
That's the Heavenly Father and His Son, whom the world ignorantly called God, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, who by their true Hebrew names, so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes can only be saved by. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings. Until next time, above, 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 Shalom. Until next time.